To me, this is a unique, in the midst of all these, the 4 Ps that we've heard about, the pests, parasites, pathogens, poor nutrition. That's a terrible mess, and we have a hard time figuring out what to do with it. To me, I feel like this is uglier than any of those, but easier to deal with. American foulbrood is a very distinct critter. It's a spore-forming bacteria, and that spore stage of the life cycle can persist. They've had it in a jar in the lab for, I think, 60 years, I've heard. And all it has to do, that spore, just has to make its way into the gut of a honeybee larva, and it will fruit, and it'll destroy, it'll dissolve the larva, and it'll make the characteristic round, coffee-colored larva that sinks down and turns into a black scale. It stinks along the way. Can anybody from where you're sitting smell this? You'll smell it better in a minute here. We'll make sure of that.
So Jerry, how long does it live in the ground? I've heard different times.
In the ground, I don't know what the conditions might be to break it up. It could be acidic in the ground. It could be.
But it stays in the ground and then resurfaces.
Yeah, I don't know about this. All I've heard is the lifespan on equipment can be decades, or a jar and shelf. But in something like the ground, I don't know, no idea.
Okay.
You know, that's a rich soup down there, and I don't know what it might be. So. The reason we have inspection is because of American foulbrood. About 100 years ago, it was so prevalent that most states were worried about losing their fruit tree industry or whatever industry depended on the bees. And so the idea of inspection came up, and basically got a handle on it. The critical thing about defeating foulbrood is that we have movable frame hives. Just like everything else with beekeeping, you can inspect the hive. If you had bees in a skep, you can't see the surface. When we look at the surface of this, the clues are evident, but if you don't have a movable frame hive, you can't get that look. So movable frame hives were key to beekeeping advancing, but also detecting disease. And so knowing that this is and then in terms of what do you do with something that's this persistent, unfortunately, for economic reasons, antibiotics have been legal for decades, and it can suppress the symptoms. I mean, the ugly symptom of the larva turning brown and smushy and stinky, in some cases, the antibiotic is sufficient to make all the symptoms go away, but it doesn't kill the spore. And that spore will be on your frame, and you move that frame to a colony. Or the sad thing I've seen is if a beekeeper, a big beekeeper, routinely is using antibiotics, he may have foulbrood and not even know it because he's suppressing the symptoms. But I have literally seen where that beekeeper sold bees to somebody who didn't want to use the antibiotics, and bingo, the foulbrood starts up again. So antibiotics is a cover-up, it's not a cure. But the nice thing about foulbrood compared to all these other problems we're having is you can fix it if you're willing. You can face it, simply kill the hive and burn it very carefully so that no other bees have access to it. That implies, and you can't just throw it in the trash because it's going to wind up on the top of a dump somewhere and bees are going to come. And all they have to do is walk on this and pick up the spores, take them back home. So when you do burn a hive with American foulbrood, the key, two things, if you can't burn, if you're downtown or something, I've made arrangements with the solid waste people, and they know and I know that the bags full of the foul brood are going to go directly to the big dump that gets covered every day. In Moab, we have a casual dump, and we just push stuff over the cliff. And then we have another dump further out of town that buries it every day. If I just took this to the casual dump and it went over the cliff, the bag would tear open, and I'd be typhoid Mary for all the other beekeepers. So if the only sure thing is make sure it's very deep, or if you burn it, you need to burn it in a pit, because there's going to be running wax, there's going to be running honey, and it makes a wonderful bonfire, but it takes a long time to burn that honey off. And so you want to have a firewood fire in there already before you start. But those are details. The main thing is if you suspect it, based on what you see tonight, call Joey. Or your local inspector, and we'll take it from there. So did everybody smell this yet? It is so distinctive. Get it?
Some people's noses don't smell that type of stuff. Sorry.
You might someday walk up to a hive and you'll smell it before you even open the hive.
Wahoo!
I can't smell anything, but smell that.
I have some to look at closely because he wants to give away all his equipment. I should bring my wife along to this with her nose. Huh?
And start with that, but then your eyes are still good. Yeah, right? You got that. We'll go to that. Anybody didn't smell it yet? It's, I mean, people say rotten socks, dead something, I don't know. Well, this frame had a real good solid case of it. And from a distance, the first thing you see is... Don't lose it. The first thing you see is old dark combs.
The women's restroom right there.
And we have a spotty pattern, but you probably all know you can get a spotty pattern from any one of these problems. But many of these larvae died. Ones that still have a cap on, the cap is sunken. And we'll make a situation here where you can all see it better under the light. The cap is sunken, and many of the caps have holes in them. They're perforated because they're sunken, as far as I understand it, because as the larvae, you have the camera behind you. The larvae have, as they decompose, use up the air in the cell, and the cap sinks. Well, then the hole comes about because the bees are going in there trying to leave it, but they don't get very far. As that larva sinks, it goes from being a nice white, plump, beautiful worm that we all like to see. It'll get tan and then coffee colored, and it starts to sink. And as it happens, the disease hits after the cap is already on, usually, which means the larva is stretched out. It's not still curled up like European foul brood. Usually it's a curled larva. So this larva is laying on the bottom of the cell can, whatever, and as it sinks down, it makes a hole and then finally a black scale flat on the bottom, the length of the cell. That's almost definitive for American foul brood. If you take a toothpick and you can't pry that scale loose. Any larva that dies might make a scale when it's all dried up, but the others you just pop right out, get under it, and it flicks loose. So on this frame, we don't have the gummy intermediate stage where you would stick a toothpick and pull out the ropiness. This one is just so old and dried up. But we have a beautiful smell. We have beautiful scales in here and sunken caps that are perforated. And what we did last time, since those scales are on the bottom of the cell, you can't see them by looking straight on, because all it is this little layer of dead larvae. to see the scales, you take the frame out and look at it down this way. And what I'm looking at is the bottom floor of the cells. And once you tune into the irregularity of their scales, they're easy to see.
Jerry, we're going to get cycling around here pretty quick. So.
Okay. Anybody that wants to see those scales, I'd suggest you come here under the sun, and I'm going to hold it as if you were holding it. You don't have to touch it. And let me say, I've probably got spores on me. Those spores won't do any harm unless they get in the gut of the larva. I've already washed my hands once. I'll wash them again. I'll wash my clothes. I don't expect to handle any beehives for a week maybe. So you can wash up after this. But if I'm careless, just handling my own frames, I might transfer some spores.
That scale is the